Hey y'all, welcome to Reddit Lane. It's been a day. I don't even know if it's been 24 hours yet, but it's been quite the day. And I wanted to come out here and kind of give my thoughts on the election and give you guys an opportunity if anybody wanted to speak and, kind of have an open discussion about the election. And it's been crazy. It's been crazy. No matter how you voted, I think it's been crazy. For me personally, though, my initial reaction, at least it wasn't the same as it was in 2016. I was kind of devastated in 2016 because I didn't expect Donald Trump to win. But I think I prepared myself a little bit better this time to where I'm just not totally devastated by it. I realized that, you know, the world is going to keep spinning and, my life is not going to be impacted detrimentally immediately. Maybe I can make plans if things are going to change, but I don't really know. I do know I woke up this morning and I didn't have a feeling of hopelessness, but I was sad. I was really, really sad. And it was really, I was trying to get my emotions together and, go to work and do my Black job, which I did. And I was perfectly fine. Things still moved, but it was just this whole like overwhelming kind of sadness, I think, in what happened. I don't know. I had to step away from social media for a little bit because it got to be a whole lot. Like everybody's giving their thoughts and opinions, and I respect everybody's opinions. I respect whoever people decided to vote for, and in doing that, I think looking at social media and seeing people who don't respect other people's vote and don't respect the way that other people think, um, I had to get rid of some people. I definitely had to get rid of some people because I couldn't do it. Like the gloating and all that stuff that's going on, like it's really unnecessary. It's really unnecessary. Um, I don't know. It's just a really crazy time. So I do have somebody that is in the bottom. Let's see. Hold on. Now you have to bear with me because I'm new to doing this live by myself. Mims was going to join me, but he has his anxiety, so he won't be able to join. Not that that's funny, but let me go ahead and add to the stage Keita Bug.
Right. I'm laying down. So I had a boot camp class, so I'm a little tired.
That's
uh,
okay. Welcome, welcome. How are you feeling?
I started off like yesterday. I ended up going to bed. I kept looking at the numbers, and I was just like, I started to stress. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. I think I went to bed at like 10:30. Like I went to sleep.
You and me both.
But
I did the exact same thing. I was like, I gotta go to bed. I can't watch this because if I watch it, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. So I have to cut this off and just go to sleep.
Yeah, I had because the way my stress. I think the reason why I was stressing is because I live in Missouri, and I already knew that Missouri was going to be like it's hard to turn Missouri red. I live in Kansas City, but I knew it was going to. I knew it was going to stay red, but I was like, I'm still going to put in my vote.
Right.
I voted for Harris. But my thing is just like like you said, I don't care because like when I grew up, I was born in '83, so when I grew up, asking somebody who they voted for, it was always like something that you didn't do. You just voted. But it's like I think my anxiety was high is because when you hear one side tell you blatantly like the stuff that he was saying, I was like, back as I grew up, you couldn't do this. Like I remember somebody showed an example of what's his name? What's the guy that ran for presidency, but he was a veteran. What is his name? He ran against Barack.
It starts with an M. Hold on. What was his name?
I can't oh, he was I can't figure his name. But anyways, they
Yeah.
showed a video. They showed a video because he had died, but they showed a video where one lady got up and she was like, Barack is. She started saying something negative, and he was like, "Hold on, like, even though I'm going against him, we're not going to allow that negativity." You know what I'm saying? And the woman sat down. So it was like to watch somebody get on TV and just be blatantly just you're showing your racism card. It's just like, really? So I think my biggest fear was Project 2025 and
Yeah.
reading some of the stuff is like I have 2 jobs, and both of my jobs, I work with Medicaid and Medicare. So it's like having that fear of, am I gonna be homeless or broke because of you? Like, and I'm also having to worry about, people just being blatantly, I mean, I don't care, be yourself, but
Right.
it's just the hate I'm scared of. You know what I'm saying? Like
That
I
is
think that's just like,
scary part. It's really scary because it's like people feel like bold in being this way. You know, it used to be something they would hide, like the KKK. You had a mask, nobody saw who it was, and now that mask is
Mhm.
ripped off, and we see who you are. And that's what scares me, I think, the most. Donald Trump doesn't scare me. It's the people, right? Like the
Yeah,
people and what they voted for. That's the scary part. You
yeah,
know, it's just to know that people are around you that have certain ideals that don't mesh. And not that their ideals don't mesh with mine, but their ideals being like
yeah,
detrimental, something that's going to hurt or harm me, you know, in the long
yeah.
run. Or not necessarily even me specifically, but maybe my children, you know, and that just kind of scares me all around.
Yeah, and I think that, like I said, the main 3 things that scare me is he really gonna be a dictator the day one? Is he going to give the police the open thing to just do what they do? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And it's just like, are you really, my biggest fear is, healthcare, because my mom is on Social Security and I know plenty of people that are on Medicare and Medicaid, and I know plenty of people that work for Medicare and Medicaid. You know what I'm saying? Like both of my jobs is Medicare and Medicaid. So I think that's just my biggest fear. It's like I mind my business, I go to work, I come home. But it's just like, even that, it's like, and then I'm also afraid of, like, when he was talking about the tariffs, like if you really put that into, if you start charging everybody all this money to ship this, like, that's not like how it's going to affect me financially, safe
Right.
wise, then also with my job. But at the end of the day, it's like I can't walk around in fear because I have disabilities. I have, things that I have things that affect my health, so I can't stress. So I think my biggest thing is just I'm trying not to focus on stressing, and then just putting my trust in God. But also be aware. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just, so today when I woke up, because I work from home, and I woke up and I was just like I had an attitude all day. I kidding me. I'm just not calming down. I was just
I know. I'm
like
the same. Like I work from home too, right? And so getting on and having to be online, and especially when I have to work with specifically people that I know, right, that are, you know, supporting something that again is kind of scary to me. You know, I know that you're a person that voted for this, although we smile and laugh and we talk as friends, but
mhm.
are we really, you know, like are we really friends? Like how is this going to work? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, at my job, we don't talk about politics. We ask politics is something that we don't talk about. We may say go out and vote, but we really don't. In my team, I kind of have an idea who may be his supporter or not, but other than that, our team doesn't talk about it. We just say go and vote because it's a hot topic. So we just go to work. But I noticed in our team chat, everybody was just like, nobody really said nothing. So I think it's just, my biggest thing is just, I'm hoping that they're going to be people, because remember the Supreme Court gave him the authority basically to just do what he gonna do.
Yeah,
So it's like,
yeah.
yeah, and then you was already talking about it. Just at the end of the day, it's just the stuff that came out of his mouth. It's like, I'm scared, but then again, it's like I can't. I have to work on not living in fear and just trusting in God, and just trust that I got people around me to support me. And I'm just hoping that you don't come out the gate acting a fool, like, because it's gonna, like you said. Typically, I don't care who you vote for. Do you? But
Right.
it's just like McCain. That's his name.
Yeah,
McCain.
John
That's
McCain.
the guy
Somebody
who I was
put
talking.
that. I meant to tell you that somebody put that in the chat. It was John McCain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
McCain. Yeah, John McCain. Because remember he did. I remember that lady got up and she was like, Barack is something, and he was like, "Whoa, hold on, like we don't do that. Like, be respectful." Like John McCain was one of those. Like, even though I didn't agree with him, he
Mhm.
just had that respect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way he carried himself was like, it was sad, because remember that time where right before he died, he had to go and put in his vote to keep them from killing the Obamacare.
Yeah.
Like he gave us. So I don't want to I don't want to stay on too long, but that's just my biggest fear. And thank you for speaking about it, because I'm just like, maybe if I speak about it and just say it, like it'll just, like it's crazy. But I did vote, but it's just in Missouri. I know Missouri was gonna stay red. Like
Certain states we know.
I didn't think that they were gonna.
Yeah, because it's not about to them. To me, it's not like about the person and who they are. It's really about voting with a party. Like some people vote, only with their party. So regardless of who they put up there, whatever figurehead they have up there, they just feel like voting with this party is going to push a certain agenda. In certain instances, I'm not saying everybody, but I think that some people do, kind of vote that way. And I agree with you. Like, it's not something that I want to harp on and talk about for a really long time. But I know for me, I had a lot of big emotions that I kind of wanted to get out and, have discussions and talk about. And so I assume that, everybody would like a platform to be able to speak and say things, and say how they feel. No, we all have to move on. I know we have to be good, but in this moment, we just have it, speak how we feel, and then we have to move on, But thank you.
I feel you. And the last thing, I was just gonna say, like, I think this is, I think the good thing out of it is gonna push people. I know for me, I'm a person of faith. It's going to push me more into my faith, because it's like, because I have health conditions, I can't stress, and I also have physical and mental health. So it's like I can't stress. So it's like one thing that is going to get me to do is push me more into my faith, to have faith in a higher power than in our government. So, but thank you for letting me come on.
Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, and I'm going to pray too. Like, that's all I think we have in this moment is prayer. So I think that that's a really good point,
That's pretty much what it is. I think God's gonna be like, oh, why am I getting so many calls?
And I know I normally hear from you, but it's not a normal prayer,
This voice scale will be like. But thank you for letting me come on. You have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Now I have to figure out how to get you off the screen. Hold on. There it goes. Thank you. I dropped the link in the chat, or I pinned it if anybody else wants to join the discussion. One of the things that I also had to do before I came on here, I was like, okay, I got to kind of get myself together. I got to get an understanding of what's really going on. And so I went out to find out exactly what is Project 47, right? Which is like his agenda and what that's really about. And a lot of the things on here, aren't as scary as I initially thought, but are pretty scary all the same. So I'm going to read just a few of the key facts from it so that we know kind of what we're getting into. So it says Trump's Agenda 47 consists of proposals, his campaign. Well, you know what? I actually could share this and read it at the same time so you guys could see what I'm looking at. So hold on, let me do a share. And again, bear with me because, I'm new to these lives and putting this stuff on screen. So let's see. So let me share. Okay, so I went out to Forbes, right? So I found something that I thought was reputable. And so I'm looking at the key facts from Agenda 47. So Trump's Agenda 47 consists of proposals his campaign issued on its website during primary election season from December 2022 to December 2023, many of which require congressional action, but some of which could be enacted through executive orders and are separate to the Project 2025 proposals developed by third-party organizations. He did try to distance himself from Project 2025, but this is actually his Agenda 47, which was posted on his website. So I think that this is valid. So it says, while Trump's Agenda 47 proposals and videos were long linked on his campaign website, his website's homepage now only links to a shorter set of proposals. It includes a separate link to the Republican National Committee's broader platform. But the links to his more detailed Agenda 47 proposals remain active, offering more insight about the ex-president's priorities than what's listed on his website now. So even if it's not out there as part of what his agenda is currently, at least we do know where his head's at by looking at what the agenda was. So education. So Trump's proposals for K-12 schools include having parents elect school principals, cutting federal funding to any school teaching critical race theory, ending teacher tenure, creating a new credentialing body to only certify teachers who embrace patriotic values. I don't know what that is. I mean, it should be good, but I don't know. Okay. Patriotic values, encouraging prayer in schools, making it easier to kick out of control troublemakers out of school, supporting school districts that allow teachers to carry concealed firearms, and pushing school choice policies. So, number one, cutting federal funding to any school teaching critical race theory. Okay, I do have a problem with that. Ending teacher tenure, that's horrible. Creating this new credentialing body to certify teachers who embrace patriotic values. I don't exactly know what that means, but I don't think it sounds good. And then allowing teachers to carry concealed firearms. I don't know how I feel about that either. I mean, I don't have any school-age children right now, but I did at one point, and I don't think that I would like their teachers having guns. I don't know. Universities. Trump has proposed getting rid of existing accreditors for colleges and universities and creating new ones who impose his party's values on institutions, along with levying significant fines on colleges and universities that he believes discriminate against students, with a plan to use those fines to create a free online American Academy that covers the full spectrum of human knowledge and skills. Well, we do know that Trump's Academy, I believe, lost its accreditation. And I think, those people got their tuition back if they attended his school. I have to go back and read and see exactly what happened, but I do think, and you guys let me know in the chat, I do think that that probably had something to do with him trying to get another body to accredit these colleges and universities. And I'm not sure what the discrimination is against the students. I don't know if it's racially motivated, but I would bet money that it's not for people that are discriminating against minorities. Doesn't say, but I don't think that that's what that is. So climate change. The U.S. would again leave the Paris Climate Accord, and the ex-president has proposed getting rid of President Joe Biden's policies restricting emissions and targeting 67% of new vehicles to be electric by 2032 and massively scaling up oil and gas production. We know what that's about, with the oil and gas at least. The Justice Department. Trump has pledged to appoint 100 U.S. attorneys who will be aligned with his policies and investigate some left-leaning local district attorneys, also pledging to establish a DOJ task force on protecting the right to self-defense and fight purported anti-conservative bias at law schools and law firms. Okay, that seems really, really pointed, right? Like, I think that probably has to do with some sort of revenge agenda that he has going on because, they convicted him. I don't know. So crime. This one's interesting. Trump has vowed to invest in hiring and retaining police officers and increase their protections from legal liability, meaning we won't prosecute them if something were to happen, push policies like stop and frisk, direct the DOJ to dismantle every gang, street crew, and drug network in America, deploy federal troops, including the National Guard, to restore law and order when local officers refuse to act, and impose the death penalty for drug dealers, drug cartels, and human traffickers. Wow. That's a lot. I mean, we can all agree that drug dealing is bad. Drug cartels are bad. Human traffickers are even bad. And I really want some bad things to happen to the human traffickers, but I don't know about the death penalty for drug dealers and drug cartels. It seems like we're going back to like Reaganomics. I'm old enough to remember Reaganomics. I don't know if you guys are, but I remember it. Immigration. Trump plans to prohibit undocumented immigrants from receiving any benefits, end birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants, reinstitute a travel ban from certain countries, pause refugee admissions, mandate extreme vetting of foreign nationals, block federal grants to sanctuary cities, end the catch and release practice of releasing migrants while they await immigration hearings, close the southern border to asylum seekers, and suspend visa programs, including the visa lottery and family visas. Now, I don't know very much about the visa lottery. and family visas and how they work necessarily. I would assume family visas are going to be people that come to this country and maybe I don't know. I don't have to look that up. I don't want to speak to it if I don't really understand what it is, but I'm really not sure. I do agree that we do have a problem with immigration. I don't agree with these proposed, ideas of what they want to do of sending people back. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it, but I just feel like that their plans feel very inhumane. So I don't know. The economy. There's only a little bit on the economy right here. Now, I know everybody that voted for Trump seems to say that the biggest reason for them voting for him was the economy, right? Everybody's big idea is that, we all care about money. The economy is going to go back to have a flourishing economy. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. This is what he says about the economy. So Trump proposes cutting taxes and slashing federal regulations, also proposing baseline tariffs on foreign goods in hopes of spurring American manufacturing, which will go up for countries who have unfair trade practices. So we kind of discussed a little bit with the person who came up, Ketabug. It was Ketabug. We discussed that tariff. And as I understand it, the tariff would be, we would actually be paying those tariffs. So we would pay more money for these goods that we were buying at a cheaper cost so that it would push people to buy American goods, which American goods are already expensive. So if we have to all be pushed to American goods, and the competition for that is only going to push prices up. So I don't know. I don't have the answer to it, but I don't think that this sounds like something that's going to work for us. But I guess we'll have to see. Healthcare. Trump has proposed requiring federal agencies to buy medicines and medical devices manufactured in the U.S. and barring federal agencies from other countries from purchasing essential drugs. He also has plans for executive orders saying the government will only pay pharmaceutical companies the best price they offer to foreign nations. I don't know what impact that's going to have. I mean, I get it and I understand what he's saying there, but I don't know what the impact of that's going to be. It sounds good, unless somebody else tells me otherwise. I don't know. So foreign policy and defense. Trump wants European allies to pay back the U.S. for depleting its military stockpiles and sending weapons to Ukraine. He also has taken a hardline stance on China, calling for new restrictions on Chinese-owned infrastructure in the U.S. and wants to build a missile defense shield. Again, don't know what that is, but I kind of just wanted to go through it and let you guys know where I am on this. I don't know how we're going to get our European allies to pay us back for depleting our stockpiles. I guess we'll see. Okay, so Social Security. In a shift from some pre-Trump GOP politicians' views, Trump has said there should be no cuts to Social Security or Medicare under any circumstances. So Ketabug, right? You were talking about that piece of it. How true do you think that is? Let me know in the chat. Homelessness. Trump plans to work with states to ban public camping by homeless people and instead give them the choice of receiving treatment or being arrested, and calls for creating large tent cities where homeless people would be relocated, which would have doctors and social workers on site, along with expanding mental institutions. Okay, that's a little bit scary too. I don't like to see these people, camped outside, but I don't know how safe having a tent city for homeless people would be. I don't know. That to me just sounds like, take all the poor people, round them up and throw them out. I don't think that that's the solution either, but okay. Transgender rights. Now, here's an interesting topic. Trump takes a hard stance against transgender rights, calling for any healthcare provider providing gender-affirming care for youth to be terminated from Medicare and Medicaid, stripping federal funding from any school where an official or teacher suggests a child could be trapped in the wrong body, and encouraging Congress to pass legislation that saying the only genders recognized by the U.S. government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. When it comes to transgender rights, I really think that, I'm not saying that it's wrong or right in any way, but I kind of think that people should wait. Like, I don't agree with, young people having surgeries of any kind that are like that. I mean, I think they should have to wait. Now, I don't know, anybody who is transgender who has had the surgery at a younger age. So I'm really not sure. I don't know. I don't think that it's our place. I want people to have the freedom to do what they want to do. That's exactly what I mean. And I think that when it comes to things like that, you do want to give people the option. You want to make sure that they have healthy options. So I don't know. Okay, big tech. In line with conservatives' claims that social media platforms are biased against them, Trump said he'll pass an executive order barring any federal department from working with other entities to censor Americans and prohibit federal money being used to combat misinformation. Also announcing steps like altering Section 230 to open up social media platforms to more legal liability. So I'm thinking when he's saying censoring America's, he's really talking about Elon Musk and X. That's really what I think that's specifically about. But again, all of these things, although, I may not necessarily, whether you agree or don't agree, one thing I think that I got when I read this was like, okay, the end of the world is not coming. We're going to move on. We're going to be okay. Everything is going to be good. It just, we'll wait it out. There'll be another 4 years. We'll have to figure something out then, because this year didn't cut it for us, for those of us who voted blue. I don't know. Did anybody in the chat, were there any Trump supporters in there? Oh, Coding Mo, I see Trump 2024. So yeah, there are some people there. And again, I respect everybody's views. I respect how everybody voted. I do want to kind of understand the reasoning behind it. I don't want to lump everybody together in one and just say, I'm just getting rid of all of them. Although, like I said, some people on my social media that did a bit of gloating earlier, I did have to unfollow or unfriend them because I was like, I'm not having this. This is not what I'm doing. I didn't do this when Joe Biden won or when Obama won. I wasn't doing that either, throwing it in people's faces. So, I don't appreciate if people were doing that in my social media either. But, this is our country. This is what we have. Some people were talking about leaving and going other places. I don't know where I would go. Like, I kind of thought about it. I was like, okay, no to Canada, no to Mexico. I have to go someplace where they speak English because I don't speak Spanish. I mean, I guess I could learn another language, but this is what I have and I'm going to have to work with it. I'm going to have to figure out a way to make it work for me. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for me. If I don't have anybody else that wants to come up and discuss this, then I can get off my soapbox and probably call it a night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining, you guys. And I do have hope for tomorrow. Things are going to be okay. I'm going to be optimistic. And I had today to kind of like, be sad and walk around and talk about it and just kind of go through all of those emotions. But tomorrow's a new day and, we're just going to have to work through it. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.